Hello, this is Zach from Slugfest Studios, back with Devlog number 7. So today I will be going over a few of the boss mechanics that I added to the game. This is like a core mechanic in the game, so it's actually something that's kind of a big deal. So there's probably going to be this is obviously going to be the part 1. There's going to be a part 2. I don't know if it's going to be right away or later on, but this is just a breakdown of the boss mechanic, what it is, how I did it. And real quick, make sure to join the Discord. It's in the link below. And also make sure to wishlist on Steam. Search for Bonebound. I'll also drop a comment in the comment section. And then subscribe for more content. So the first thing I will jump into is the lane container. So this boss lane is supposed to spawn underneath the player's castle. You have your main road in front of your castle, right? And the main road is 1, 2, 3. I wanted to switch it up and make this boss lane, instead of numbers, make it letters. So it's easier to represent, hey, this is a boss lane, it's letters. So I just made that A, B, and C for all 3 lanes. So as you can see, once the tiles are created for the main road, you have 1, 2, 3. And then once the tiles for the boss lane are created, you have lane A, B, and C. It just helps a little bit. I didn't want to do like 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. I want to switch it up just a little bit. So it's like, oh, lane A instead of lane 4 might be a little misleading. And once I created that, now I wanted to create kind of a cinematic when this boss lane does pop up. So I wanted to just add a little bit of flair to it. So what I added was this impending doom is coming with a banner, and then it shakes the screen a little. There is more stuff that I'm going to add to this, and I want it to be more of like a cinematic when the boss shows up. This real quick is actually a banner. I spent way too much time on this banner, but what I did was I created this banner, added a bunch of details to it, a lot of coloring, a lot of shading, and then what I did was I want this banner to kind of like spawn in, almost like it's being like reverse burned, if that makes sense. To where it starts as this small banner and then it kind of unfolds itself and unravels itself. And it has like these like ashes coming off of it when it's coming back. So that's the full frame right there. And this is for the boss name. So when the boss appears, this will actually unravel and then tell the boss's name. I had that all done. Then I went back through because I didn't spend enough time on it. And I added like these little like fire embers, these ashes coming off of it. So I just did like some reds and then I did some blacks for like the ember flakes coming off of it. Yeah, like I said, I spent like probably 2 hours in total on this thing, just messing around. But now that I have that in, I can actually add it into this cinematic. So now I switched it up where these tiles actually spawn in. Does an impending doom is coming. The tiles spawn in. And then once it gets to the end, it unravels that scroll, as you can see. And then it will tell the name of the boss that is on your screen. And now, when I was doing this, the next thing that I wanted to add was actually something from the tile map. I wanted to try to make these tiles create their own grass underneath when they spawn in. So I had it where it actually fills in with my tile map underneath these grid. It kind of like does like a paint splat, like boom, every time that it spawns in, it also summons this grass underneath it. So it kind of like builds its own terrain and it connects this to the map. After a lot of trial and error, because it had like a lot of holes in it, I don't mind like a few holes in it because it's supposed to be the boss lane, kind of like, I don't even know if this is going to be actual grass. It might look a little bit different, like kind of like burned road or something. But now the grass actually fills in when the tiles spawn in. I think it's a nice little touch. Also, like I had no clue with the fog. It made it a little bit tough to even see the boss or see the tiles. So it's nice having that comparison with the grass underneath the tiles to actually be able to see it. And also with that being said, I made it where the camera, anytime a tile is spawned in on the map, it actually grants your camera access to hover over that. Before, the camera was on the strict, like, it can only follow the simple road tile. Now it connects to quest tiles. Anytime quest tiles pop open, your camera unlocks. Anytime boss tiles unlock, your camera unlocks. Now, with that being said, let's spawn the boss. So After all that, I put in the boss. This boss should be this 3x3 footwork creature. So it should take up a 3x3 tile. So right here, I have the boss. It summons, and then it fills in with that name. And that name's actually kind of cool because it's like a generated name. It takes, I think, 100 descriptive words. Then it takes all 12 species, and there's 20 different generated name for those species. So you always get a different name. So I think that's what, like 1,200 possibilities or something for the name. So it's actually like you should see a different name every run. And this is it. I tweaked it a little bit more. I actually changed up a lot of the boss UI. So I actually wanted this big health bar. And the thing with these bosses is they always have speed of 1. So they can only move 1 tile up ahead. That can't be reduced or increased. And I actually just made that an ability called Titan on these creatures. So I got rid of that speed. There's no need for that speed, but instead I added this big old health bar on the right side, which I think is very fitting because these Titans are going to have a lot of health. These are something you got to think you're constantly sending creatures at it to whittle it down before it reaches your castle. Because if it reaches your castle, you lose. So it's also another thing the player has to manage. And on top of that, so you have that Titan ability. There's also another ability on the left called Beckon. All bosses have this ability, and they will usually summon the lower rank 1 creatures on that lane as well to attack your castle. So you have the boss and these other lower, like, kind of peasants of the boss trying to attack your castle. And now I wanted to incorporate the summoning lanes, or summoning the creatures, onto the boss lane. So as you can see, I summoned that first creature in lane 1, 2, or 3. I summoned it in lane 2. There was no option because the boss lane was not open. But now, if you attempt to summon a creature when a boss lane is open, now you'll actually have an option for that lane to be open. So now, if I summon a creature, if I grab a creature and I put him on the castle like normal, with this ABC lane open, you should see now there's a boss lane there. And what you can do here is you can actually hold this button and it switches. So now you have lane A, B, and C. You can switch back to the road lane if you want to. But now, boom, you can summon lane B. It will actually summon in lane B. So now that creature will be on the boss lane. Now, the boss lanes are a little bit different. You don't have quests in the boss lanes. It's simply for just trying to defeat the boss. So you got to think this creature on this boss lane really isn't going to get a lot of experience, but you need to try to stop this boss. But you also need to maintain, doing quests and also trying to stop the opponent. So like there's a lot of kind of like stuff to manage when you're playing this game, which is kind of good because that's what I kind of want this game to be in depth, where like you need to kind of manage dealing with the enemy castle, dealing with the boss, and like trying to do quests at the same time and trying to manage your deck. Like I wanted this whole kind of spiel, like you're trying to do different things. And now to show creature actually fighting the boss. So this is just a representation of how much health this thing actually has. You have that plus 10 next to it as 20 health. So I didn't want it to be like super overpowered. That's why it only has 2 power. Like this should be something that you're sending multiple creatures at, or if you have one creature that's very strong, maybe you try to have him kill it, And as that creature's damage, you can see that health bar on the right side actually goes down. So now you kind of have a visual representation with the number. And that is it for devlog number 7. So like I said, this is a part 1. There will probably be a part 2 either next episode or a few episodes after that. I don't know if I want to jump straight into it. This is a core mechanic of the game. So you might be asking, well, what's the point of defeating the boss? Other than if the boss reaches your castle, you automatically lose. But, you could be like, well, what happens if I just rush the enemy castle, defeat the castle before the boss spawns? You can do that. But another main thing with the boss is once you defeat the boss actually drops these main core things in the game that are called bone relics. And the player can have up to 3 bone relics on, and these bone relics change the way you play the game entirely. These are things that will drop from bosses, and they'll change drastically how you play. Like you might have something where it makes all of your werewolves change at day instead of night, or it turns all of your demons into rats. Like, it does crazy things. So that's another main thing, and that will be something that I'm expanding on. Once again, make sure to join the Discord. It's in the link below. And wishlist on Steam. Search for Bonebound. You can also find it in the comment section. And subscribe for more content. It does help out a lot. And don't forget, when fighting the boss, I'd like to speak to your manager is basically a taunt at that point. Thanks for watching.